Hello there, dear viewer. In today's video I want to talk about some of the recent 4K releases from Studio Canal and talk about what I've been enjoying about them and maybe some of the bits that I haven't actually enjoyed, and hopefully you can take these as recommendations for things to watch in the near future. If you would like to get any of these discs after watching this video, I'll include some links in the description of the video which, if you use, they help the channel at no additional cost to you, so thank you if you do that. Let's begin with a huge title that I was very excited for when it first got announced. It is The Third Man, starring Joseph Cotten, Orson Welles, directed by Carol Reed. This is a classic film noir, one of the great British noir films. This is a UK Studio Canal release, and the film has had this limited edition treatment that they've done with many films at this point. They did one like this for The Wicker Man, and most recently they did The Conversation, the Francis Ford Coppola movie. The story is set in Vienna, and we follow Joseph Cotten, who plays this writer, who is there to meet one of his old friends. But he hears out of the blue that his old friend has mysteriously died in an accident. But then he starts to hear different stories from witnesses, and he begins to suspect that actually this is not the case and that something is afoul here. I won't go any further into the story because I don't want to risk spoiling anything for you, but I strongly recommend watching this film. It is gloriously directed by Carol Reed, who is a tremendous filmmaker. Like many great thrillers made during the period, he used expressionist lighting and camera angles. There are many so-called Dutch angles where the camera is sort of tilted a bit. This was all done to express the story and the sense of paranoia and conspiracy, and it really does help aid that kind of feeling in the viewer. When you're watching this, you are totally there with Joseph Cotten's character, wondering what the hell is going on. There are many scenes and sequences in this film that are iconic, and there's a certain first appearance of a character which is absolutely monumental in the history of cinema. And the film has a very unique musical score played by Anton Karas entirely on the zither. And this score, it's been talked about lots. Some people love it, some people hate it. And it is perhaps the one thing about this film that sometimes just doesn't work for me. To some people that is sacrilege to say anything bad about this zither score for The Third Man. But there are certain sequences where it is very intrusive and jarring. And people have highlighted that that is almost the point, that it helps create this sense of the absurd and the bizarre, and aids that feeling of conspiracy and unease that I talked about earlier. So this use of music is really the only thing holding back The Third Man from being held as a stronger favourite of mine. But make no mistake, the film is exceptional in every other regard, and many people would say that the music is exceptional as well. Not only is the film itself exceptional, I think the 4K disc here is a rather good one indeed as well. The 4K restoration here is a bit of an older one because I think it was used on the previous Blu-ray edition from Studio Canal. But the results here are very pleasing. The contrast levels in the image are beautiful. There's so much detail here, and overall watching The Third Man on this 4K disc was a highly enjoyable experience. But you don't just get the film, there's quite a lot packed into this box. Before I open this up, I do want to really say that I love the new artwork that's been commissioned for this release. Although I will reiterate again with these Studio Canal releases, I hate that they put the ratings logos and other logos directly on the front of this and on the spine, and they've got them on the back as well. The Studio Canal team could really learn from what some other labels are doing by not actually printing the logos directly on the thing, but having a piece of paper or card to actually have all that information on that then you can take off. And as fickle as it sounds, I know that there are some collectors out there who will forego buying this. They won't buy it at all because the logos are on here. So frankly, they're missing out on a few extra sales by doing this, but hey, it's not up to me. Now, if I open up this box, there is a bit of a surprise. There is the iconic scene from The Third Man, and it's actually meant to play the theme tune. Can you hear that on the microphone? But the only issue is it doesn't work all the time. Like it's not playing now. And even if I pull it back more, it's not playing. I don't know if my copy is just defective, but it doesn't actually play it all the time when I open it. But then the thing is, as you get deeper in the box, it is still playing, and I don't actually know how you can turn it off. Anyway, I'm going to close that so while I talk about the stuff, it's not playing in the background. First of all, inside you get this digipack, which has the 4K disc and the Blu-ray. You get this collector's edition booklet, which has some writings about the film and some marketing materials and production stuff inside. You get these art cards with the original poster and the Oklahoma Kid image from the film. You get this fully annotated shooting script of The Third Man to kind of read after watching the film. And the last thing you get is a poster with the brand new artwork that is on the front of the box. So what is my verdict on this set? Well, first of all, the presentation of the film is a very good one indeed. So I'm very happy to have the film in this state in my collection. Now, in terms of the collector's edition box, I do think I would rather a smaller, slimmed down version without all the extra stuff for a cheaper cost. And it's unfortunate that Studio Canal don't do a day one collector's box and also the standard version if you want to get that. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's lots of people who would enjoy the stuff, like the music that plays when you open it, that's if it's working properly, or like the art cards and the annotated shooting script, etc. For me, it's the film that I really want, and I think this retails at £45. So, you know, if the costs could be reduced a bit and you could get this for £25 or £30 without all of that extra stuff, I think for a lot of collectors that would be more preferable. But the film is fantastic and the 4K presentation is a very good one indeed. I had a great time watching it on this release. Next up from Studio Canal on 4K, I have The African Queen, the classic film starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn, directed by John Huston. This is another film I was very happy to see come to the 4K format because it is shot in beautiful Technicolor by Jack Cardiff, who is the Technicolor wizard who worked with Powell and Pressburger on so many of their great Technicolor masterpieces. And on this 4K disc, I think The African Queen looks great. The film is so colourful and vivid, and seeing these characters on this boat go through the jungle along this water to try and carry out their plan to take out this German warboat, it's such a wonderful experience, and it's a film that I have a deep affection for. The African Queen hasn't had the same collector's edition treatment as The Third Man has, but you do get it in a slipcover as part of the Vintage Classics line, and on the disc there are some great special features, including a brand new audio commentary and some features on the making of the film. The next Studio Canal 4K I want to talk about is this one. This is a 4K steelbook of the film Convoy, directed by Sam Peckinpah, starring the late Chris Christopherson. For those that don't know Convoy, we follow these truckers who are travelling in America as they are trying to dodge the authorities who are constantly hounding them. Chris Christopherson's character in particular, he is very anti-authority and he has these run-ins with Ernst Borgnine and his character. And it's a game of cat and mouse as they try to dodge these speed limits and just lose the authorities on their tails. And ultimately this is all bubbling to a conclusion, which I think is fitting of a Sam Peckinpah film. This film is not as popular as some of his other great films like The Wild Bunch or Straw Dogs or Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. However, I do have a fondness for this film. I love the performances and the visuals in this film. It is a stunning film to watch, and I think the 4K disc really does show how beautiful this film is. And it has a whole host of brand new special features which have been produced in collaboration with Mike Siegel, who is a Sam Peckinpah expert. So there's tons on here, as you can see listed here, including a new audio commentary, a video essay, and there's all sorts of stuff about the filming of Convoy, like behind the scenes photos, etc. Inside the steelbook you get the 4K disc and the Blu-ray, and there is currently not a standard edition 4K disc available, so if you do want to get it, I think you have to get the steelbook as of now, but maybe in time Studio Canal will release a standard version. Convoy has its critics, but it's a film that I greatly enjoy, and the 4K presentation on this disc is a beautiful one, so I'm very happy with this release. So those were my thoughts on 3 recent 4K titles from Studio Canal. But do let me know your thoughts on these if you have these already, or if you're planning on picking these up. If you'd like to stick around on the channel and get some more recommendations from me, just click the video that's presented on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.